Okay, so let's see. These are X coming back for July. And you Leos are the first. And do you know why? You are first because, look, I'm having some interesting things over here showing up. You're first because you had the most clicks in my monthly videos, and I'm going to change the system. Actually, initially when I started this channel, I had it, and that really worked very well, and then I decided to be a little bit more organized, and I'm going back to being quirky. So keep clicking, keep pressing share, like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and comments. This is a good combination of basically getting your reading first before everybody else. So if you're not familiar with the reading, these cards on the table are going to be identical for every sign, because this is your X coming back series. It's only, let me stress this out, for the people who actually anticipate or wonder or want to know what's going on, right, about their exes. It took me forever to develop this spread, guys. So each and every time I'm having interesting, comment, oh, I don't want a relationship, or I don't want my ex back. Well, I don't really care, because this is not for you. Just please go move over and go to monthly. So just, I'm going to mention to everybody, and unfortunately I have to keep mentioning. So as I will be shuffling in front of you, because I don't want to save myself from editing, as I need to go out and see my dad tomorrow. I will actually interpret few jumpers over here. You have three majors that are really showing up here. You have a feminine principle, morality principle, and patient principle showing up with some kind of like friendship, with the dark horse coming through. The hangman, however, is reversed, which is talking about somebody who was supposed to absorb a message not absorbing, and hence instead of like really realization of how the situation maybe can look through somebody else's eyes, we are telling them, no, I'm a master, I have it down packed. No, not me. So this could be you, and this could be another person. So either way, you have to be really careful. If it is you, you'll be missing something important. Maybe somebody's going to tell you about it, maybe some friend. Generally, this could be earth sign as well, as you have this appearance 3, kind of like earth over here. But the temperance here is showing, and I really feel it's basically showing because we have now full moon in Sagittarius, which is leading us now to Mercury retrograde. And it is the same axis as Gemini, so hence it's getting very affected. The Hierophant always talks about marriage situations and what is important to us, what kind of rules we want, what kind of people we choose, what kind of like definitions we will have, morality of the situation. Maybe you are setting your rules down, yet being patient at the same time, because something maybe kind of like maybe gotten out of the way, or you're seeing maybe that something might not roll in a way that you really want to roll. So let's see more for Leo for July. Oof, that was like a baby shuffle. Leo for July. Leo for July. Leo for July. And we will see if you're going to have any of the furballs that are sleeping. You have a King of Pentacles. You have a very, very strong earth coming through it. So that maybe could mean as you're coming into preparation for your birthday, right? July, we still have only Cancer ahead of your sign. And usually this is a very exciting phase for every sign. Not so much that you're going to be jumping up and down from happiness. Oh, yeah, Leo is coming. But more so like you're feeling your energy is coming, you're feeling better, you're integrating better, you're talking to other people in a different way, you're feeling more powerful, you're recovering finally from January and February when your energy I'm coming up with a whole bunch of new words. Menergy, man energy, menergy. Your energy is the lowest, right? When it's kind of like in the sign of Aquarius. Look, yet another thing. I don't know, like, are you guys thinking home, family, marriage, children? Is that what is going on through your head? Generally, I don't look at the jumpers, but because you had so many clicks last month, I'm going to do that exception. So 10 of Pentacles is not so much about lovey-dovey and we live happily ever after, and absolutely I hate this 10 of Cups card. And it's just because it's so unrealistic. And I really hope everybody here is, I don't know, 20 plus and hopefully 30 plus, that we really don't have those illusions that somebody's going to sweep us off our feet and we will kind of like sail into the sunset. We now know that relationships are not so permanent, and for really, really want to last, it takes lots of time and lots of effort. So this card is not so much about that emotional connection between the people, but it's more or less like about looking good on the paper and where they fit within a family. And this has so many different layers. We people are weird. Oh, look, you're eating worms. I mean, this would be quite disgusting for me, at least. But maybe not to somebody else who maybe came from that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying open your mind to be with somebody like that. No, I'm saying like sort of like you might be running into somebody who actually likes the same food, likes the same movies, like kind of like has this overlap with you, and you feel like a glove that fits, shoe that fits. You feel like, oh, I'm home. You know, some people feel like home, and this to me is the ultimate home card. Something will be happening near home for you this month, so it's a little bit of general reading, or something might be happening near the place where you were born. If this is the same city, so be it, or town, but something really, really important would be reflected there. Okay, let's do one more round for Leo. Let's cut the cards for Leo and let's start. So as this is for July, I'm going to start with initial messages that we get. And here is this like a 10 of Cups. I was just like shunning this card. Well, don't get me wrong, I'm not shunning this card. I just don't want to interpret it in a way, oh my god, yes, everything is going to work out okay. In fact, for you here, look, you have a 10 of Cups and Death right next to it. So this gets completely different meaning, and the Emperor is here, which kind of like was missing in those cards that kind of like were jumpers. So let's kind of like do this. The Emperor reversed is and I really had a meditation recently about this Emperor card. I don't know if you guys are coming on my live. I was telling people I'm going currently through my shamanic studies. It's extremely powerful, and I'm going through transformation. So I don't know if you're going to notice that in my readings. I personally didn't notice anything yet, but I know that personally I'm really discovering myself inside of me quite a bit. So the Emperor meditation for me kind of like came through as, of course, it means a father, it means authority, it means establishment kind of a thing. But we live in a society where many fathers are not exactly, you know, great fathers. So now like there are two masculine figures that I'm seeing here in your reading, and one is the Emperor, it's reversed. So it is like talking about some, I don't know, let's say upsurge of energy. Let's say something is not really sitting right. It's not sitting the way it should sit. It's not going in a direction where it should go. It kind of like really almost like can feel bottleneck pressure, that somebody's really breathing down your neck, right? It can be that little bit of chaos that is really talking about. So it could be also avoidance of some kind of like sort, and this can also indicate rigid behavior. King of Cups, on the other hand, is really talking about things that really need to be remedied, right? And King of Cups in a different category would be absolutely fantastic card. It could represent water sign, but I don't really go by water signs. I mean, I don't go really by that. I more or less go with the energy in a general reading. It's a different when we come to personal. For the larger readings, I even go and look into astrology. So King of Cups, to me, is indicating that really quiet force, quite the opposite of the Emperor. Emperor is like, roar, and King of Cups is like, hey, I have big shoulders, come, you're fine here, that's a soft place to fall. So there is like somebody you're inquiring about who was too much of and not enough of this. So this means when this polarization happens, and excuse my really like English, I think that really explains it all, right? Instead of putting a whole bunch of like words into it where we can get to that. You really needed somebody who will be there for you. You were hoping for this beautiful family. And somebody almost like pulled the rug under your feet, I think. And this had to stop. So as I said, I see water, I see Pisces, I see Aries, I also see Scorpio. I mean, Aries is not necessarily water, but Emperor is Aries. And it could be that fiery energy of Aries. It may be something you got involved that kind of like was really, really fast. You know, sometimes you involve with some people and you call it the whirlwind romance. It's never good. Never good. Because people end up in a situation without thinking too much about that. And overthinking is not good either. On the other hand, on their side, I'm seeing them looking in the distance. There is like my card of ships. Well, usually the people say, oh, ships are coming home. And you're going like scratching your head and like, oh, what does that mean? Ships are coming home. I live in the city and doesn't have a ship, so where do I look for those ships? Well, to me, these ships represent relationship, friendship, partnership, right? It's kind of like those layers of it, right? And it could be that your partner maybe has some kind of strategy or some kind of planning. This card can also quickly indicate travel. Maybe your ex is trying to figure out if there is another possibility of getting through to you in some different ways. You know, maybe somebody's going to contact you and offer you a business deal. You know, sometimes people call you with that stuff when they want to mask or when they're embarrassed at the nature of their call. But this card here, oops, judgment should be upright here, and I didn't even explain the significators. I just jump right in it. So this is the karmic influence. The magician here tells us everything that should go for us. So if it's a negative card as we have it here, it's not a really good news. If people who should be your friends are really not your friends, kind of a thing. And here is saying what needs to be glued, and that's why I told you, like, right, it's quite the opposite. That actually if it came the other way around would be great, but not this way. So you had those great expectations, and it looks like you went nose down, like it was a nosedive in this relationship, where this person is still fiddling with this idea of, you know, let's see, how do I find a side door? What do I do about this side door? They're really doing thinking about that, I really have to tell you. But this Five of Swords card, where we see this third person, and two people are crying, and one person is like very self-satisfied. I don't care if I hurt somebody. Who cares? I'm the winner. Like, these are the people with very low emotional intelligence. I'm not talking regular intelligence. I'm talking about emotional intelligence, who are not able to read emotions of the other people. Most of us are somewhere in the middle, but this person is clearly win at all costs kind of thing. However, this card reversed, and this card can indicate reunion, it can indicate understanding, it can indicate forgiveness. Clearly it's some kind of like resolution, but this is not to say this is going to charge forward. The Page of Wands reversed is kind of like really interesting cards. You see, pages are messengers, so it almost looks like this person is all set. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Yeah. And then the last moment, it's kind of like, they become pessimistic, or they become arrogant, or maybe everything good that they really wanted to say, let's say on a phone call or in a message, it comes across as like me, and you're going, what the heck, you know? And it's kind of like, it's going to be kind of like that fly in the ointment, if you really wish, that I have to say. So let's see here. We have the Chariot reversed, Queen of Pentacles, Seven of Wands reversed, and there is like 10 of Pentacles. Yeah, it looks like you were playing house with this person, and you really wanted to be married, and in your head, this was the meaning of, hey, he's going to be that like nice and soft place for me, my protector, and I'm going to be such a good wife. And given that you're Leo, you're the sign of family, right? It kind of like came to you as a big shock. You really came unglued and derailed. but so did they. If this means anything to you, because most people just like, not so much that they want their ex back, but they really want to see, hey, I really want to know what they are thinking, right? So for you, it looks like you're done and over with. At this stage, somewhere mid-month, you're going to realize, oh my gosh, this would be just not going anywhere. And that's most likely kind of looks like it could be some communication. Keep in mind, these communications, and I'm telling you this because I'm learning this in the shamanic studies, can actually happen in dreams. So before you go to bed, each night, be persistent. Just say to yourself, I would like to get messages about so and so. But do not be specific about this or about that, right? Because what if the message is something else? So just about X, right? I would like to know what's going on, etc., etc. So because I do see these messages, I do see that some kind of communication that is really happening, and it's kind of like really weird because there is like this opening over here, but it almost looks like it kind of like shuts down, and shuts down with you guys being completely turned off. Oh my gosh, it's kind of, you turn off Leo, you can as well bury yourself, kind of a thing, right? Because this card here is a card of aggression, a loss of control, just like this one. So look at this double whammy, and 4 and 7 is 11. It goes to show that somebody is clearly not able to understand their impact on the soul, on the person, in the situation. This is now in the middle, and this 8 over here, so this is you, him, energy and communication in between. Almost looks like there is like some connection, whether or not you still have a family in common or friends in common. It looks like there is like something going on, and maybe this is what bothers you, because at some point you are saying, I want nothing to do with him or her, and they are saying it's time to start all over again. They have been very hurt as well, I have to say. Almost looks like that maybe you are the one who kind of like initiated that breakup, but not in a sense, I'm dumping you, but in a sense, look, I need this. And they couldn't meet that kind of goal or that kind of like level of what you needed. They couldn't meet your needs. But they have 1 and 10 and 9 and 10. Like there is like the beginning and ending, and they're not sure if they're coming or they're going over here. Look at all the swords and look at all these wands. They're all action. They're all kind of like brewing in some kind of direction. Interestingly enough, because this card connects to Hierophant, I don't know, this could be something that it was marriage, or it could be kind of like going in the direction of ring on the finger, but it really feels like they let you down on some kind of morality principles that you felt you have agreed upon. And they also don't want to fight anymore. It looks like kind of like, put a fork in me, I'm done. And this is kind of like really the energy that is coming through this entire month. And here is like this King of Pentacles. Look at that. This is now changing the meaning over here. But it's coming in this category of what needs to be glued. Look at that. Karma accomplished. This is karma card. This is karma card. It looks like that partner of yours needs some healing over here. This could be you guys as well, because King of Wands could represent Aliyah as well. But let's see where we go with this. Look at this. We have 2 6s over here. It could be that with this person you had a soulmate connection. And this is very confusing. Some people really, oh, we're a soulmate, we have to live together forever, right? No, you don't have to. Maybe as a soulmate, you need to end the contract. And this is what this card means. They could be ending that contract. They could be realizing how even unhealthy they behaved. And I truly feel that they were a little bit erratic. And I also feel that you were going through the stop signs. You were just ignoring all these freaking red flags. It was like, I'm going, it's a bone, like, but hey, it's a precipice. No, it's a bone, kind of a thing, right? So it have been like 2 things that were kind of like messing up. Another thing, like, I mean, I'm seeing these 3 7s over here, 777, which is 21, and it's also this card coming out here to boot. It has been a spiritual shift for you. You may now have different layers in your spirituality. Maybe before this you didn't believe in tarot, and now you're realizing what a wonderful tool this is. Maybe before this you didn't realize how, let's say, important is going to the church, and now you do. Kind of like a shift has been happening. For you guys, a new beginning is looming. Something new is looming. Like, look at these people. You have 3 kings. The one that is missing is King of Swords. So that one is actually the most important, because that one is missing. And King of Swords is about a fairness. And I really feel that overall impact here is that the whole situation hasn't been fair. And that's kind of like still lingering somewhere, right? Now, this is changing a little bit, because this could be that it was what you wanted him to be couldn't be. Maybe he's married. Maybe he was married. This is a couple. Like, you had to unglue the couple in order to kind of get him to be where he is. Do you understand? This is like moving a mountain. And maybe you ended up in one of those difficult situations in a third party, or could have been another party that has been really messing with it and just derailing this, like right in the ditch. But this card is an amazing one. In fact, all of these 9s and 10s that I'm seeing over here are heralding that this is the end of the phase. And I know that you're not here to probably hear this, because some of you really want your ex back. And be very careful about some behavior that might be a codependent behavior over here, because the Devil reversed, to me, talks about this person could be a little bit toxic. The person could be a little bit narcissistic. They could be even abusive, kind of like doing things just in a way they want to do it. You know, when people don't ask you what is that you want. But this also, when it's reversed, can talk about detachment. Maybe finally they're achieving freedom from their own issues, right? And I really feel that it was really hard for you to move on, because there was like that steel glue. The contract hasn't been, you know, the cord hasn't been cut, the contract hasn't been finished. And I'm seeing this happening. In their own head, they are going to give themselves a story of being a big benefactor to you, how much they help you. And this is because they still actually have a little bit way to go. But for you, you're opening to dreaming. You are opening yourself to a new possibility. And what you're saying you are doing, you're going through saying slow and steady wins the race. You're not in any rush anymore. You see, you're going from 10 to 1. So there's like this new cycle that is happening, and it's a positive cycle for you. This is also saying, however, it's a word of warning. Do not lose yourself into chasing rainbows. Be very pragmatic about this new approach with the new partners. And also with this partner, be very pragmatic that you need to realize how many stop signs you've been through, and that maybe, you know, even at that, it has been a painful exercise. It looks like has been lots of either arguing, or even worse than arguing would be no arguing, when you were saying I need this, or tears, and they just didn't listen to that. To me, that's even worse. For them, it looks like there is an issue that they still need support, and they still need some help, and there's like still this third party or playing around. 6 of Pentacles is not necessarily a bad card, though. It can talk about maybe them being in the need of help, maybe in the need of financial help. And it could also be that this card to me is also talking about generosity and empathy. And I really think this is like what they didn't have when they were in this card over here. And I think this is what you need. And if nothing else, you know, take it from this reading, understanding that, okay, I do know this is what I needed to learn about this, and, you know, I have to take it forward with me. Because one thing is clear, that you have left a lasting impression on them, and, you know, this is one of those relationships that will stay for a lifetime, and the lessons that they have learned. But guys, the contract is over. and you will figure this one out midway of in July, and you will realize how much different you feel and think, and what kind of people you want, what kind of people you don't want. And you will look for people who are very transparent, not so much who are exciting. This person was very exciting, but at the same time letting you down and not fighting for you, which also I think played a role. So my Leo, be the first one. Next week are monthlies, and if you want to be the first one, shares, clicks, likes. And this reading is on a special. You can go to my website and check it out and go from there, cattarot.ca. And yeah, you can order reading with me, and that way we will actually discuss this like just your case. And it doesn't have to be like this. It could be more intricate, because then I have your particular energies. Thank you so much, guys. I love you, and all the best.